Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining in the part 2 of the ongoing series on understanding the solar eclipse of October 2023 and its implications on the various ascendants. In the last video, we had covered from Aries till Virgo, and in this video, we'll be covering the remaining ascendants or remaining signs. Okay, and as we all know, the solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Virgo in the nakshatra of Chitra. Virgo, of course, is ruled by Mercury, and Chitra is ruled by Mars. So Mercury and Mars are both involved in this eclipse, and the challenges for you are going to come from the areas of the chart which are ruled by Mars and Mercury. Okay, in the areas ruled by Mercury, you're going to face challenge to make that better. And in the areas ruled by Mars, you of course have to fight for those areas regarding whatever you believe is right for you. Okay, you have to fight against the conditioning that needs to be eradicated so that particular house or that particular area ruled by Mars starts giving you good results. Okay, so for the sign of Libra, this eclipse is happening in the 12th house, and for Libra, Mercury rules the 12th and 9th houses. So there could be issues related to hospitalization of either your father or your guru or even your boss or other figures of authority. You could also run into losses due to these people in your life, whatever decisions these people take concerning you or concerning your work or concerning your family, there could be some kind of loss regarding that. Okay, and Mars, of course, for Libra rules the 2nd house and the 7th house. So there could be some, there could be a situation of getting married, or you could face the prospect of finding a spouse for yourself, and that could end up draining some of your wealth. Of course, in the Indian context, marriages do consume a lot of wealth because you blow up a lot of money in one night. Okay, but anyways, that is a matter of choice. So there could be some expenses related to marriage. There could be some expenses related to the family as well. Okay, you could also be going for some dental implants or for some tooth implants if you're facing teeth issues or dental issues. Then that could actually drain your finances too if you're a Libra rising. In case of Scorpio, this eclipse is happening in the 11th house, and for Scorpio rising, Mars of course rules the 1st house and the 6th house. So be very careful with litigations, be very careful from your colleagues and from your subordinates who are working under you. There could be some problems related to servants. There could be some problems related coming from people who are working with you in the same office or in the same workspace. Okay, similarly, the good news is that you might receive certain sudden gains, and that could be just out of the blue. Okay, but on the flip side, you could be facing situations that could lead to a sudden expulsion from your network circles. Okay, for example, there could be someone in the network circle that can bring you losses or that can bring you bad news. Okay, or suppose you may be a part of some social circle and you may be expelled all of a sudden from that social circle, or you might find yourself not being a part of that social circle anymore because of whatever is going to happen as a part of the solar eclipse on the 14th of November, on the 14th of October 2023. That is Sagittarius rising. So this eclipse is happening in the 10th house, of course, and Mercury is, Mercury rules the 10th house and the 7th house. So, there could be some areas, there could be some problems related to the family of your spouse. Okay, there could be some problems related to your workplace, and you could find yourself entering into new partnerships, into new alliances, work-wise or business-wise. You could find yourself making new partnerships or signing new agreements and contracts, whatever is necessary for expanding or growing your work. Okay, Mars of course rules your 12th house and the 5th house, so there could be expenses related to children. There could be hospitalization issues related to your children. For example, your child may be playing anywhere and then they get hurt badly, and then you might have to take them to the hospital for a surgery or whatever. Okay, so please ask your children to be careful while playing or while going to school or any other activity like swimming or sports or any kind of recreational activities. Okay, you could also face losses in if you're engaged in in businesses related to speculation or the stock market as well. Okay, for Capricorn ascendants, this eclipse is happening in the 9th house, and Mercury of course rules the 6th and the 9th house. Okay, so you will face challenges related to your daily routine, to your daily work. There could be certain colleagues or subordinates could be causing problems in your workplace. You could face problems because of your father, because of your bosses. You could be facing situations where your guru is not keeping good health, your boss or your father is not keeping good health. Okay, Mars of course rules the 11th house and the 4th house, so this is a good time to gain from lands, to gain from vehicles. Okay, if you are trying to invest in a new vehicle, then this is the time to do it. And of course your friends are going to help you out, your social circle is going to help you out while making those investments. Okay, and you could also gain from landed properties. You can also find yourself buying new properties because of of this eclipse. But then see that you don't fall out of favor from your network circles, because that is something that you need to be careful about. Falling out of favor from your circle can be very traumatic for your long-term gains, for your long-term financial benefits, if I could put it that way. Okay, for Aquarius rising, this eclipse is happening in the 8th house. Mercury, of course, rules the 5th and the 8th house. So all of a sudden, you could find your romantic relationships in trouble. All of a sudden, you could find yourself at the wrong end of a breakup. All of a sudden, you could find yourself, gaining much from the stock market. All of a sudden, you could find yourself spending a lot of money for your children, or your children making you spend a lot of your money. Okay, and Mars, of course, rules the 3rd and the 10th. So this is a good time if you are into some kind of a business or into self-employment. Then this is a good time to take the initiative that you have always wanted to take, or make the change that you have always wanted to make, so that you gain from the work front as well. Okay, so your work could also lead to certain short distance travels for you during this period of 1 year. So be very open to traveling, even if it means even say be very open to work that involves a lot of traveling short distance. Okay, for Pisces ascendant, this eclipse is going to happen in the 7th house, and Mercury of course rules the 4th house and the 7th house. So you could find yourself in a situation where you have to commit to certain relationships, or you have to make commitments towards marriage or having a family. Okay, so if you are a Pisces rising, then this is a good time to get the ball rolling towards your marriage, towards making towards entering committed relationships. On the flip side, if you are already married, or if you are in a relationship, then you might find yourself expanding your family in terms of having children, or in terms of getting a new vehicle, or maybe getting a new 2-wheeler or a 4-wheeler, whatever is whatever is required for you for your growth of the family. Okay, on the flip side, Mars rules the 2nd and the 9th house, so you could gain you could have financial, you could be gaining financially from your father. You could be your father could be making you a part of his inheritance, if if some issue like that is running in the family. And also you could be facing some long distance travels related to your work, as well as related to marriage. Okay, for example, you might get married to a spouse who lives a long distance away from your current location, or wherever you are situated. All right, so it's a very interesting time for Pisces ascendants, and as well as for Scorpio ascendants, because as far as my reading goes, this eclipse is really going to bring good results for these two ascendants. Okay, and as I mentioned in the previous video, there is no particular remedy. An eclipse is all about change, and the solar eclipse is going to bring events, it's going to unfold events that require you to change as a person for the next 1 year. So be open to that change. Do not resist any kind of change, thinking that change is going to be bad or whatever. Whatever change happens, accept it with open arms, accept it with an open mind, and you are going to do really good regarding that. Okay, so that's it from me in this video. Kindly subscribe to the channel, If you haven't done that already, like the content. And if you think your friends and family could benefit from this information, kindly share with them as well. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll see you soon in yet another video. Namaste. Om Guruve Namaha.